If you're anything like me, always trying to keep up with the latest in tech, especially AI, you've probably come across the term AI agents,
Oh, yeah, definitely. It's buzzing around.
right? And maybe, like me, you've thought, okay, we know about these powerful large language models, LLMs, but what exactly are these agents? And I mean, how are they different?
That's a great question, and that's exactly what we're diving deep into today. Our goal is to really unpack the concept of AI agents, draw a clear line between them and LLMs,
Okay.
and explore the different types out there and what they're actually being used for. Plus, we want to tackle that really interesting question. If LLMs themselves can now use tools, why even have AI agents?
Exactly. That's the bit I keep getting stuck on. It seems like these LLMs are getting so capable. So why this extra layer, this agent?
Right, why the middleman almost?
Yeah. So we'll be looking at why an AI agent might actually be the better choice in certain situations.
And to get a full picture, we've been digging into quite a few sources. We've looked at blog posts with practical examples, best practices, and also a more technical research survey for that deeper view.
Good, good. A mix is helpful.
Yeah, we're aiming for a really well-rounded understanding in this deep dive.
Okay, so let's start right at the beginning then. What are AI agents fundamentally, and what's the core difference from the LLMs we hear so much about?
Okay, so at their core, AI agents are systems designed to do more than just, process information or spit out text. They're built to actually reason through problems.
Raises.
Yeah, think about it. Create step-by-step plans and then actually execute those plans using a set of tools they have access to. Now, it's crucial to get this. Many AI agents do use LLMs as their, let's say, underlying intelligence.
Okay, so the LLM is inside the agent, kind of.
Think of the LLM as the powerful brain, but the agent adds the ability to act, to interact with the world, use tool, achieve specific goals.
Okay, so LLM is the brain. If we were using an analogy, what's the agent? The whole person.
That's a great way to put it. Think of an LLM as this incredibly knowledgeable brain, brilliant with language, holding tons of information.
Right.
But an AI agent is that brain plus a body. It's got limbs or tools, and crucially, it can decide when and how to use those tools to get stuff done autonomously.
Ah, autonomy. That sounds key.
Exactly. So LLMs, powerful knowledge bases, AI agents, intelligent actors that use that knowledge and tools to solve problems for you on their own initiative.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense. So an LLM can write me a summary, translate something,
hmm
but an agent, what kind of task takes it a step further?
Okay, let's use that surfing trip to Greece example we looked at. An AI agent tasked with planning this wouldn't just give you, like, general
Yeah.
facts. No. It would autonomously break the whole thing down. First, it might realize, hey, my general weather knowledge isn't specific enough for surfing.
Right, you need wave forecasts and stuff.
Precisely. So it decides to access an external database with detailed historical weather reports for Greece. The key thing here is the autonomous orchestration. It figures out the need, picks the tool, gets the data, all without you having to tell it each little step.
Okay, whereas with just an LLM, I'd probably have to specifically ask, get me the weather for Crete in July.
Exactly.
You know,
You'd be
right.
driving each step. But the agent's reasoning goes further. It gets the weather data and thinks, okay, but this doesn't tell me about the waves.
Ah.
So its next step might be to communicate with a specialized external surfing agent, maybe one that analyzes wave height, wind speeds, local reports.
Wow, so agents can talk to other agents.
Potentially, yes. It shows how they can coordinate different resources, even other AIs, to achieve that bigger goal you set.
That's a massive leap. So an LLM, if I just asked about a surfing trip, would probably just list some popular beaches based on its training data.
Pretty much. It would give you information it already has, but it lacks that inherent drive to autonomously plan, identify the right tools, and use them in a coordinated way to plan the best trip for you.
So this idea of autonomy, making decisions, acting independently, that's really the heart of the difference then.
Absolutely. It's a core differentiator. AI agents can make and execute decisions. They can monitor how things are going, adjust their plan in real time if needed.
Like if a weather forecast changes.
Exactly. They adapt. They continuously work towards the objective you gave them. It's proactive decision-making, not just passively responding to your prompts like an LLM mostly does.
Okay, got it. So we know what they are, how they're different.
Yeah.
But you mentioned types. Are they all this complex?
Good question. No, not at all. They vary quite a bit in sophistication. We can actually break them down into different types based on their capabilities.
All right, let's hear about them.
Okay, let's start simple. We have simple reflex agents.
Simple reflex. Sounds basic.
It is. They react immediately, directly, to whatever they're sensing right now. Think, if this, then that. They work best in predictable environments without too many surprises.
Like what? Give me an example.
Sure. Think about a safety sensor on a factory machine. If it detects your hand is too close, bam, it shuts down instantly.
Okay, immediate reaction.
Or automated sprinklers turning on when they sense smoke. Even a basic email autoresponder, "I'm out of office," triggered by keywords. That's a simple reflex agent. Direct stimulus, direct response.
Got it. Stimulus response. What's the next level up?
Next, we have model-based reflex agents.
Model-based, so they have some kind of internal map.
Exactly. They maintain an internal understanding, a model of how the world works. This lets them operate even when they can't see everything directly, what we call partially observable environments.
Like driving in fog, maybe.
Perfect analogy. You can't see everything, but you use your mental model of roads, cars, physics to make informed guesses about what's likely happening.
Yeah, you infer things.
Yeah, that's what these agents do. They use their internal model to make better decisions about the current situation, even with incomplete info. They don't necessarily have deep memory of the past like more advanced agents, but they understand the now better.
Okay, so reacting based on senses plus their understanding of the world makes sense. What's after that?
Then we get to utility-based agents.
Utility, like usefulness,
Yeah.
trying to get the best outcome.
You're spot on. Utility-based agents make decisions specifically to maximize some kind of utility or desired result. This is really important when you have multiple goals, maybe even conflicting ones.
Like trying to save money but also wanting high quality?
Exactly. Or think about a factory system trying to balance machine usage, energy consumption, and production targets. It weighs the options.
Okay.
Or a smart building management system trying to optimize comfort for people inside, but also energy efficiency, and maybe even predicting maintenance needs to lower costs. It's about finding the optimal balance, the best overall result, considering all the trade-offs.
So they're strategic optimizers, in a way.
You could say that. And finally, we have hierarchical agents.
Hierarchy suggests layers, like management structure.
That's the idea. These agents have a layered structure. Higher levels set goals or strategies. Lower levels handle the specific actions. They coordinate tasks and delegate goals down the chain.
Where would you use that?
They're great for complex systems with clear task structures. Manufacturing control, again, coordinating different production stages. Or a big building automation system, managing HVAC, lighting, security through different control layers.
Right. Different subsystems reporting up.
Even in robotics, planning a complex task for a robot often involves breaking it down hierarchically. High-level goal sequence of actions, individual joint movements.
Okay, so different agents for different jobs, basically.
Yeah.
Simple reactions to complex layered planning.
Exactly. And these aren't just theoretical, we see them out in the real world.
No, where are we actually encountering these agents?
Well, in transportation, think about Uber AI. It's constantly working behind the scenes, matching riders and drivers, optimizing routes, figuring out dynamic pricing. That's AI agents at work.
Huh. Never thought of it quite like that.
Or look at companies like Lilium AI, developing those electric vertical takeoff jets. They're using AI for crucial piloting functions. And here, Technologies provides AI-powered mapping that autonomous vehicles rely on.
Wow, okay. Pretty cutting-edge stuff. Anywhere else?
Entertainment is a big one. The Netflix recommendation engine. That's basically an AI agent trying to figure out what you'll like best to keep you watching. It learns your preferences, optimizes for engagement.
Right, that makes total sense.
You
It's
mean-
trying to maximize my viewing utility.
Exactly. So, okay, now we get to that tricky question we raised earlier. Modern LLMs,
Mhm.
they can do tool calling or function calling, right? They
Yeah.
can interact with external APIs.
Yeah, that's what confuses things. If the LLM can already call tools, why do I need a separate agent? Isn't the LLM becoming the agent?
That's a very sharp point, and it's key to understanding the value add. You're right, LLMs can call tools now. They can reach out, grab live weather data, maybe even interact with a booking system if it's set up.
So they can get the surfing weather or book the flight?
They can execute that specific action if told to.
Yeah.
But the crucial difference, the real advantage an AI agent brings, is that extra layer of intelligence and, importantly, autonomy on top of just being able to call a tool.
Okay, so it's not just that it can use tools, but how it uses them. Who's deciding?
Precisely. Think about planning and decision-making again. An AI agent uses its reasoning capabilities, often, yes, powered by an LLM, to decide which tools to use when and in what sequence to achieve a broader goal you gave it.
Okay.
A standalone LLM with tool calling usually needs you to be more explicit. You prompt it, use the weather tool for this location, then maybe now use the flight booking tool for these dates.
Right. I'm still the planner.
Exactly. Let's go back to the surfing trip. With tool calling, you might have to say, get weather for Crete in July. Then, are waves usually good then? Then, find flights.
A lot of back and forth.
Yeah. An AI agent, though, understands the goal. Plan a great surfing trip. It then autonomously decides it needs weather, it needs wave data, maybe needs flight options. It selects the tools, uses them, synthesizes the info without you micromanaging each step. It reasons its way through the plan.
Okay, that autonomous reasoning and planning is the big step up. It takes initiative.
Huge step up. And another key advantage is managing complex workflows and task orchestration. Agents can automate entire sequences of actions, not just single calls.
It's like a multi-step process.
Right. And they can monitor progress. If step 2 fails or gives an unexpected result, the agent can potentially adapt, try something else, or report the issue. An LLM just calling functions in a script is more rigid. An agent is like an intelligent project manager for that workflow.
It can handle bumps in the road.
Exactly. And there was an interesting discussion online distinguishing agents from just like a background script calling an LLM. The idea was the agent creates the workflow dynamically. It makes choices on the fly based on context and its own reasoning. A script is predefined.
More adaptive.
Much more. An agent might even delegate subtasks to other, more specialized agents if needed. That shows a higher level of complex coordination.
Delegation. Okay, that's pretty advanced.
And one more thing. Memory and learning. AI agents can incorporate memory both short-term for the current task and long-term across tasks. They learn from experience.
So they get better over time.
Potentially, yes.
Yeah.
They can learn what strategies worked, what tools were useful for certain types of goals you give them. An LLM context window is usually limited to the current conversation. An agent can build up a more persistent knowledge base from its actions and outcomes.
So it learns my preferences or what works best for the tasks I usually assign.
Exactly. It can become more personalized and effective for you over time, which is a big leap beyond just responding to prompts with tool calls.
Okay, so the advantages, autonomy, planning, complex workflows, learning seem pretty clear. But when should you actually use an agent versus, say, just a clever prompt to an LLM with tool access or even a more traditional AI model? When is it overkill?
Great question. It's definitely not a one-size-fits-all situation. You need to pick the right tool for the job. Agents really shine when you need to automate complex, multi-step tasks.
Like the trip planner.
Exactly. Tasks requiring planning, reasoning, using various tools, that's prime agent territory. They're also great for improving operational efficiency by automating tedious, repetitive workflows that involve multiple systems or steps.
Like internal business processes.
Yes, think generating invoices based on project data, then sending reminders, then updating accounting software. An agent could potentially orchestrate that whole sequence, freeing up human time. Some sources mention significant productivity jumps, like 40%.
40%? Okay, that's compelling.
Also, situations needing adaptability in changing environments. If the agent needs to figure things out as it goes, because not all information is available upfront, like those model-based agents, that's where they excel over simpler models.
Okay, so complexity, workflow automation, adaptability. When should you not use an agent? When is it better to stick with something simpler?
Well, definitely when tasks are clear, simple, and have unchanging rules. If you just need to, say, classify emails into urgent and not urgent based on fixed keywords,
Yeah.
a direct LLM prompt or a simple dedicated classification model is probably way faster and more efficient. An agent deciding which tool to use for that would just add unnecessary overhead and latency.
Right, don't use a sledgehammer to crack a nut.
Exactly. Which leads to the next point. When low latency is absolutely critical, the agent's thinking process planning, deciding on tools, takes time. If you need a near-instant response, like in some real-time control systems, that lag might be unacceptable. A direct function call is faster.
Milliseconds matter sometimes.
They do. Also, consider workflows with extremely sensitive information or zero tolerance for error or hallucination. While LLMs can hallucinate, the agent's autonomy adds another layer of potential unpredictability, at least with current tech.
So high-stakes decisions might still need more direct control or human oversight.
For now, often yes. You need to be really confident in the agent's boundaries and reliability in those cases. Imagine medical diagnosis or financial trading. The risks of an autonomous error are huge.
Makes sense. Any other downsides or reasons to hesitate?
Well, there's the risk associated with autonomous decision-making itself, especially if the agent's goals or capabilities aren't perfectly defined or understood. Unintended consequences are a possibility.
The runaway agent fear.
Maybe not that dramatic usually, but agents acting in ways you didn't anticipate because their utility function wasn't quite right or they encountered an edge case. There's also the potential for over-reliance leading to de-skilling. If agents automate everything, do people lose the ability to do those tasks themselves?
Yeah, a classic automation concern.
And finally, practicalities. There's often an initial investment and integration challenge. Setting up agents, connecting them to the right tools and data, managing them, it can be complex and requires specific expertise. It's not always just plug and play.
So weigh the benefits against the complexity, the risks, the cost, the need for speed.
Exactly. It's about understanding your specific problem and choosing the right level of AI sophistication. Sometimes an agent is perfect, other times a simpler approach is better.
Well, this has been incredibly clarifying, seriously. So just to wrap it up, what are the absolute key things people should take away about AI agents?
Okay, key takeaways. AI agents are autonomous systems. They often use LLMs as a brain, but add planning, reasoning, and tool use to act on goals.
They're not just thinkers, they're doers.
Right. This gives them big advantages for complex multi-step tasks compared to standalone LLMs, even those with tool calling. Think autonomy, workflow orchestration, adaptability, learning. But they aren't always the answer. For simple, fast, or extremely sensitive tasks where absolute predictability is needed, a simpler AI model or direct LLM call might be better. Choose wisely based on the specific job.
Understand the tool, understand the task. That seems to be the recurring theme with AI.
It really is. They're powerful but need thoughtful application.
This was fantastic. Thank you so much for breaking all that down. I feel like I have a much better handle on agents now.
My pleasure. It's a fascinating area and it's evolving so quickly. Glad we could dive into it.
And thank you to all of you for joining us for this deep dive. We hope this cleared up some of the buzz around AI agents for you. As these systems get more sophisticated, thinking about the possibilities and the challenges is definitely something to keep mulling over.
Absolutely.
Stay tuned for more explorations into the ever-changing world of AI. We'll be back soon with another deep dive.